Welcome to the Lisle Business System Yellow Belt level. This is the first module of the course, and it's called the Lisle Business System Overview. What is the LBS system? What is the LBS body of knowledge? The Lisle Business System is the foundation and structure for how R.W. Lisle adds values for its customers and stakeholders. The LBS is based on Lean Six Sigma principles and techniques deployed within a Hoshin Kanri strategic planning framework. These are the elements of the Lisle Business System. We consider this to be an open systems model. The inputs to our system are supplier base. The outputs of the system are the markets that we serve. And the markets that we serve are the wholesale distribution, midstream, transmission, and wholesale. At the core of our system is a concept called leadership to true north. So leadership to true north, of course, is a concept that means you have a direction, but you never actually consider yourself to have arrived. You're just constantly moving in a direction of improvement. And in Lean, oftentimes what true north means is single piece flow, perfectly timed to customer demand, with no defects and no delays. One aspect of our system is keeping in mind our purpose, alignment of aim, which means that we align all of our incentives together so that we're all striving for the same thing, which is to serve the customer and to operate profitably. We have our body of knowledge. We enact our body of knowledge using, as a model, the Toyota production system. We standardize our business processes and our current best methods using the ISO infrastructure for document control, for process auditing, both internal and external. It reinforces our standard work program. Of course, our ISO procedures also give structure to our quality management system and our quality practices, which actually predated a lot of the Lean techniques that we've adopted. We have another aspect of our system which we call demand generation, which is basically mapping out the customer process with us and ensuring that we assign the right resources to the right touch points with the customer. How is the Lisle Business System communicated? Well, that does cause a good deal of confusion because what we call the Lisle Business System encompasses a number of different things. The first thing that it encompasses is our Lean program, and the body of knowledge that incorporates our Lean program is available in our SharePoint portal. Take a back out of here for a second, and we'll take a look at our Lean portal. Okay, if you go to our intranet, you click on the module that says LBS, and the first thing that you'll see is the introduction from Jeff, the owner of the company. Off on the left-hand side, you see a number of different subsites. You click on the one that says LBS Body of Knowledge, and you come to a screen that has all of our resources. These are all of our recommended books, and a few of them are required for this course. And then you see 7 different categories. All of our course modules come under these 7 umbrellas. The first is Business Case and Awareness. And if you expand that, you see topics such as Lean Thinking, Fundamentals of Lean, statement about our commitment to quality and continuous improvement, some information about the training and certification program, and some documentation on our Lean simulation exercise. A good deal of our modules come under Standard Work and Plan, Do, Check, Act Cycle. First subcategory is A3 Thinking and Consensus Building. You can see there's a number of modules under that. We have continuous improvement formats. And only after we get through the principles and we get through the formats do we get to continuous improvement tools. And the reason for that is when you have a tool-based lean system, and you have a hammer, every problem starts to look like a nail. So what we want to do is we want to learn the principles first so that we always have a sense of the correct application of the correct tool given the circumstances, and how to adapt the tools consistent with lean principles. Okay, so you can see there's a number of different subjects under PDCA, under CI tools. You come to like a more in-depth study on PDCA, and that's specific to how things are done at Lisle. So you have the PDCA, how do we at Lisle do the plans stage, how do we do the experimentation, how do we validate our improvements or check them, and how do we integrate the changes into our systems. Okay, the next subcategory is standard work. And under standard work, you can see we have any number of topics. We have the way that we collect our metrics. We have standard work combination sheets, advanced visual management, and then our ISO documentation. We also have a whole system in place for something called the SDCA cycle, which is the auditing of standard work. Okay, after that we have a whole umbrella of topics under variability reduction, which are typical Six Sigma subject matter. We have introduction to variability reduction tools, validation training, some information about our engineering change process, our control plans, data collection and measurement, and so on, all the statistical methods, some optimization methods like Monte Carlo techniques, design of experiments, and of course, very important as a lean tool is the mistake proofing and the separation of man and equipment. Under our demand generation topics, we have introduction to voice of the customer, we have the measurement of voice of the customer, quality function deployment, and demand generation process. Okay, at the Greenbelt level management track, we go over the corporate strategic planning process. We have the overview of the Hoshin, which we call Hoshin Cannery. We have the overview of the Hoshin process. We have elements of strategic intent, environmental scan processes, internal capability assessment exercises like enterprise value stream map, corporate lean assessment models, which we do a survey every third Hoshin, and we have an annual reflection exercise where we look at our measurements and our metrics for the year and look at things that helped us or hindered us, and look forward to what we're going to adjust in the next period. We analyze thousands and thousands of observations and filter those into common themes in the next exercise, and then we take that off to our strategic planning retreat. Okay, at the strategic planning retreat, we begin a process called Catchball, where we begin to configure our corporate single-page strategic plan called an X matrix. As we go through that process, we configure our annual objectives, our initiatives, our metrics, and then how the metrics contribute to our long-term goals and our financial objectives. Then, of course, we come back to our plants, our different locations, and we configure our lower-level X matrices, and as you know, they all tie together with each other. Okay, and then we talk about the periodic Hoshin reviews that we do to make sure that everything's on track or make course corrections during the year or in the period in between Hoshin planning processes. Okay, under supply chain, we have some information on lean scheduling, on calculating resource requirements, and on establishing pull systems. Lean enterprise is about the support value streams that we have. And you can see among those we have some information on lean and human resources. How do you leverage information technology? How do you set up a lean accounting system? how do you leverage ISO 9001, and in general, how does the lean process apply to administrative functions. The last category, which typically for management and supervision, we have modules on lean leadership, facilitation of rapid improvement events, mentoring of candidates, lean leadership itself, self-directed work teams, establishment of lean culture, and leader standard work. Okay, so that as a whole is our body of knowledge. Okay, the second is the ISO 9001 compliant quality system, and of course there's a whole quality manual we could go through. We won't do that right now. And the controlled documentation portal. So really quickly, the controlled documentation portal is this, and you can see this models the most recent version of ISO 9001, and has modules on management, sales, purchasing. So here's where you can find references, you can find all your work instructions, you can find your forms that you need to fill out, and all sorts of reference materials. Okay, so with all this, what is the vision of the Lyle Business System? Well, the vision of the Lyle Business System is to develop all associates into certified, self-directed work teams aligned with the company's mission to provide value for our customers and empowered with continuous improvement tools and principles appropriate to their current and desired job responsibilities. The following are aspects of the Lyle Business System that all associates are expected to understand and participate in. The Lyle Business System Quality Policy. Lyle is committed to total customer satisfaction through the continual improvement of safety, quality, delivery, and cost of our business system while improving the sustainability of our environment in the North American oil and gas markets. So you can see that integrated into the very quality policy is the fundamental principle of Kaizen, this balance between safety, quality, delivery, and cost, in that order. It's very important the order that this is laid out in. It's not quality at the expense of safety, it's not on-time delivery at the expense of quality, and it's not the lowest cost at the expense of any of these other things. Okay, so those are our principles and our priorities. Okay, understanding the fundamental principles. At the foundation, at a lower level even than the lean tools, the lean principles, and the Toyota methodology, is the layer of fundamentals that come from Edward Deming. So first, there's constancy of purpose, which means that although our system adapts new ideas, it doesn't oscillate between ideas. So we don't have like a flavor of the month type of situation here. We've been using pretty much the same principles, going along the same path for the last 20 years. And we adopt new things and new ideas, new techniques as they come along, but we make sure that they all fit together with what came before. So that's constancy of purpose. Respect for people. So respect for people can mean a lot of different things. At the most basic level, it's, treating people decently, respecting them as human beings, but also respecting them as problem-solving individuals. Understanding the difference between, what could be automated, what could be outsourced, but really looking at people as potential process engineers, if you will. Proactive behavior. That's something that's very important to us. We strive to look for things where we can get ahead of problems. And, it's never an issue here to, prove that you prevented something from happening. If what you're doing or what your ideas are consistent with proactive behavior, that's looked upon very positively. Systems thinking. So systems thinking is that we don't want to optimize one part of what we're doing at the expense of something else. We want to look at the whole. And so that goes along with our alignment of aim, where we have just a single incentive that everybody shares, which is just the bottom line profit, and our profit sharing is based on that, and our bonuses are based on that. And there's no other sub-optimized incentives. There's no commissions. There's no specific goals that one manager has that would cause them to act against the benefit of the whole. So everyone's kind of aligned in the same thing, and we all want to understand how what we do affects the person upstream and the person downstream from us, at the very least, if not the whole. The voice of the customer is something that's very important to us. So what we try to do with voice of the customer is we have a variety of means of ascertaining our performance, ascertaining what features, what's critical to what the customer considers critical to quality, what they think is, what enhances their experience doing business with us. Okay, and again, the principle of True North: single piece flow, time to level demand, no defects and no delays, both in manufacturing and administrative processes. So, are we a bottling plant? No. Are we a fully automated plant, robotics plant? No. So, are we probably ever going to see this single piece flow, time to level demand with no defects and no delays? Probably not, but we're going to get a little bit better every day, and every day we're going to look in that direction, and the improvements that we make and the ideas that we have to be aligned with that True North concept. Some of the tools of the Lyle Business System. Some of these include a concept called 6S, in visual management as a foundation for improvement. We're going to talk about that in an upcoming course module. The definition of value and the elimination of waste. Gemba walks and real-time information in place of sit-down meetings and traditional reports. Continuous improvement of standard work and reduction of variation using A3 thinking and the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle. A little bit about Gemba walks. Gemba means the place where the actual work is done and where the value is added. Anywhere that you read about Lean, the original books on Kaizen, tell you that this is the place where the true source of information is. Identified associates are expected to participate in our 7:30 a.m. Gemba walk every day. Identified associates are expected to participate in our 9 a.m. administrative Gemba walk and to also report on key metrics regarding their area of responsibility. So this is a very important concept to us, and as Jeff likes to explain, we have an inverted organization, which means that those of us in administrative roles, management, engineering, our main purpose, because we're not on the floor adding value for the customer, is to support the people that do. So we basically go out to see firsthand, look at what's happening in their location, and that kind of forms the course of what we're going to do during the day. It tells us how we organize our work. Okay, once a month we also have a monthly Gemba, which also satisfies our requirements for ISO management review of quality. During that Gemba, identified associates in both facilities are expected to participate. Associates must report key metrics regarding their area of responsibility, and identified associates must report out on KPI, which is key performance indicators, and PD, which is policy deployment metrics that they are responsible for, and follow up on assigned tasks captured in the meeting minutes. Okay, this is pretty much the core of the Lean process. And when you look at it, what's the very first thing that you learn about Toyota? What's the very first thing that you learn about an automotive manufacturer that's involved in Lean? Well, the first thing that you probably see, if you've ever seen any movies or anything of that sort, is the pull line. It's a cord that runs along the entire length of the assembly line. And the primary feature of a Lean system is that anybody along that line is empowered to stop the production line by pulling the cord. When they stop the production line, that's when it's time for those of us in support systems, to prove our worth and to go out, with a strong sense of urgency and resolve the problems that the frontline operators are encountering. Okay, so this cannot be repeated often enough or emphasized strongly enough. A variety of tools and methods are available. Those could all be learned in due course, but the primary principles are quality is built at the source and cannot be inspected in, and stop and fix problems or get help. Do not let anything go by. We're in the business of public safety with the product that we produce, and so quality and preventing anything from getting passed is the #1 priority for us. The LBS Training and Certification Program. The following is an overview of the LBS certification system. Becoming certified increases your engagement with the Lisle Business System and provides a growing mastery of its concepts, principles, and tools. Advancement in the LBS is one of several factors that will affect your advancement in the company. So what we're saying here is, on the one hand, we want everybody to go through this program. Because of that, it's not going to guarantee that you get promoted by itself, but if you don't go through it, it's very likely you will not get promoted. So that's kind of where it is. Certification is based on your ability to learn and demonstrate mastery of a body of knowledge, similar to the ASQ body of knowledge for Lean Six Sigma. All associates are expected to complete a common curriculum regarding LBS awareness, which is the yellow belt, which this is the first module. All associates should complete at least a subset of the body of knowledge above yellow belt required for their specific job functions. So we looked at the SharePoint portal and you saw there's like 117 modules. No one person, unless you're going to the black belt level, will have to go through all the modules. But once you get beyond the 6 modules for yellow belt, you really need to, in conjunction with your manager, develop a plan for yourself to go through the materials that pertain to your job. If you're an engineer, you're looking at lean product design. You're looking at production preparation process, design for Six Sigma. You'll be looking at those sorts of things. If you're management or supervision, you're probably looking at the Hoshin. You're looking at the lean leadership. So there's several different tracks and there's different groupings of subject matter that that you could utilize based on what your specific job functions are. Okay, so these are some of the specific opportunities to engage with the system and to advance in the system. Participation, that's the first general category. That includes rapid improvement events, participation in Gemba walks, daily Kaizen improvements to standard work, and suggestions to management. We track those very carefully, and we give people credit for both coming up with the ideas and executing the ideas. For training, we have classroom and online training. At the green belt level and higher, we have recommended reading, a couple things required, lean thinking, a few other things. And you also get credit for attending external conferences, plant visits, and so on at the green belt and higher level. Not just like equipment shows or things like that, but it actually has to be like a classroom environment where you're learning about some principle of continuous improvement. Okay, assessment is the kind of the third leg of the stool. We have electronic quizzes, we have evaluation and tracking of event participation, and evaluation of improvement activities. Okay, so very similar to the ASQ definitions, we have definitions for our different belt levels. And the yellow belt level is general awareness of the Lisle Business System, the fundamental principles and tools and techniques. And you get that through classrooms and classroom exercises, online or workshops. At the green belt level, that corresponds to hands-on participation. So a person who has a green belt would be pretty much capable of walking into any type of typical event we have and participating meaningfully without any further training. At the black belt level, you're expected to be capable of leading any type of event or workshop in the Lisle Business System. And then, of course, at the master black belt level, internally, you'd be capable of designing the workshops, training the trainers, and all that sort of thing. And, of course, that's me. So we'll see who else is next. Okay, so as I mentioned, the green belt classes that we've had until now have been in several generalized categories. We have a management track, administrative, supply chain oriented, and a technical oriented green belt level. Okay, and then one last note is that the same system that we use to print out these certificates that you get, we're also tracking all your scores, we're tracking your history, so everything's all tied together in one big system. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the introduction to the Lyle Business System. Thank you very much for your time, and best of luck in your progression.